Chris getting me pumped up off stage. I was liking that.
Our new I love this new theme song. It just gets me fired up, you know.
I've been sticking with Starbucks, but I should just play that in my house all morning. Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Hotline, episode 261. We're off to a caffeine start here. 264, excuse me, because I can't read. Joined by Chris and Brody. What's going on, guys?
Sup?
What's up, Danny? What's up, Chris?
So Brody, I got
September the 9th, 9/9.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Got to play the lottery. Brody, so you got a favorite football team?
Georgia Bulldogs go for the three-peat this year.
Also known as the Philadelphia Eagles. Haven't they drafted every Georgia player to come out in the last?
So yeah, it's like half our defense is now Georgia Bulldogs. So
that's true. I am a Bears fan, but I was like, maybe I should just be an Eagles fan because they're going to draft every Georgia guy in existence.
Welcome, Matt. My son's hysterical. He wants to watch the Georgia game, so he knows who Philadelphia is going to pick this year. Maybe the hobby angle on that is, pay attention to Georgia's skill players. We have a lot of hellos this morning. Korean Cardboard, hello, gentlemen. Philly Joe in the house. Good morning, Philly Joe. And I want to give a special good morning to Matt. First time seeing you guys live. Good morning. Please, join the session. Mad City Brew, Madison, Wisconsin. Watching this in my son's baseball game. Well, I guess you had to go to the game. But also, want to thank Bench Clear Media for having us on Saturday mornings. We are every Saturday morning and the first Tuesday night of every month on Hobby Hotline channel. Bench Clear has us on Saturdays. And we got Bo. Go Bears. There you go, Brody. Getting some Bear love. Lot going on. I wonder if we're going to get through all the hellos. I think for the first time in a little while, we've got some hobby news that is, I don't want to call it funny, but I think it caught everybody off guard that a social media account may be tied to allegedly tied to some fake jersey sales. And I know this has been talked about plenty, but I certainly wanted to bring it up this morning, get your guys' opinion. It appears allegedly that the card porn account is behind fake Michael Jordan authentications done through other companies. So what is that crazy? I mean, think of all the things in this. You have a jersey that was bought for $27,000 that was fake to make it worth $1 million. You have a forgery of the photographer who's been passed away, and a fake charity set up in his name, which is just, beyond disgusting, for human beings to do that. And then on top of it, it's from a major social media account in the hobby, which is like the icing on the cake of craziness. Brody, you buying any Michael Jordan jerseys anytime soon?
Not yet, maybe eventually. But the main thing I think about here is I've looked back on it, and it's like when you think of the account and you think of anonymous, and he puts on his description as a hobby watchdog, that makes you think a little bit. An anonymous watchdog. That seems a little sketchy when I go back and think about it. I don't know about you guys, but it seems a little sketchy when I think about it. And it was.
Yeah. And Chris, your first thoughts when you hear all this craziness?
You mean to tell me that card porn, the watchdog of the hobby, was involved in a scam like this? No way, man. I am shocked to learn that. But in all seriousness, are we really surprised that some of these characters that have these influencer types that have popped out of the woodwork over the last, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Some of them may not have the hobby's best interest in mind. Are we surprised with that? I'm not.
Well, is it safe to say that some of this is on us for believing any hobby account with enough followers and that is funny enough?
Well, not me, because I
Because
never followed him or taken him seriously. But for those that do,
I followed him. Taking him seriously is a different
well,
subject.
yeah.
Brody, you think it's on the collectors to be a little skeptical?
Yeah, I mean, there was always debate on who he really was, and it's like we have to take people accountability. Like, why are we taking him serious? He was anonymous the entire time.
Speaking of
And
accountability,
apparently 2 years ago, there was a complaint filed on one of the, it might have been the blowout form, not to do business with a guy in Australia named Juan Garcia. And apparently, this card porn guy is named Juan Garcia and lives in Australia. So the breadcrumbs were out there. It just, you needed to put 2 and 2 together to figure out that maybe this guy isn't on the up and up. But what is it? I know a lot of people are trying to go after the authentication companies here, because this was photo matched by MyGray. Is it MyGray or MeGray? Because
I believe it's MyGray.
MyGray, okay. And I know they do a lot of authentication with hockey jerseys. Look, when you buy a graded card or something with a certificate of authenticity on it, you're buying someone's opinion, someone's good faith opinion. And, people are people. And sometimes a lot of these authenticators, they're wrong. I mean, we saw that Pokemon case that had G.I. Joe cards in it. It looked authentic from the outside. It looked sealed, but they even
I think everybody looked at that wrong. I think they were just expensive G.I. Joes.
No.
No, I agree with you on a lot of that, but I am going to say there's some level of responsibility, and Brody brought up accountability. If you're paying a company to authenticate something, doesn't that put some accountability on them? And this is not to pick on MyGray. BBCE talking about the G.I. Joe, and then there might be another 86 Fleer box tied into this whole card porn mess. Every grading company we know for a fact has let cards go through that have been trimmed or altered. So what accountability is on the authenticating companies? Brody, what do you think?
I think there's a lot. I mean, ever since that thing with Logan Paul, I haven't trusted BBC really at all. I haven't really thought that a BBC box is authentic. I haven't bought one and been like, I have this, I don't know, I'll just use 88 Donruss baseball. I don't know. This 88 Donruss baseball box is authentic because I got it in a BBC baseball box wrapped. It's authentic. I think that they need to take more accountability. And if there's another one out there and it's presumed as fake, that's not very good. That's 2 now.
Yeah.
And to be fair to BBC, Pokemon really isn't in their wheelhouse either.
That's true too, yeah.
They mostly do sports wax.
But Chris, you have a job. Let's just call it technical. If somebody came to you with something that was outside of your lane, isn't it your responsibility to say, I'm not the person for this?
Is that for me? I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm saying if you're at work and somebody brings something to you that's not part of your job, and you deal, and I know that you deal with a technical job, so you have a responsibility. Doesn't BBC or any of these companies say I don't know enough that I should not be the company to authenticate it?
Well, at my job, if I'm given something that I can't handle, I try and find somebody who does know what they're doing and maybe work with them. As far as BBC not, I'm pretty sure someone there thought, it's a sealed case. How hard could it be to authenticate it, even though we don't normally do Pokemon cases? But who else is out there to authenticate Pokemon cases though from 1999?
Well, that's
I mean,
so
it's easy to say go out and find an expert, but maybe there isn't an expert out there other than maybe somebody who may have worked at the packing factory. Who knows who that would be? But
do you guys get? I want to switch topics here a little bit because SGC made big news, and since we're talking about grading companies, do you guys get cards graded at all? Do you guys send cards out, Chris?
Not really. No.
Brody?
No, not as much. It's something that I've thought about doing, but I've just never got around to doing it.
If you were looking to do, and I guess this is for both of you, and because I want to show what SGC made a very aggressive move. They're now offering $15 grading, and this is with no restrictions within their normal grading, rules. No minimums, 5 to 10 day turnaround. That's pretty aggressive. What do you guys think? Is this a move? Is this a move to move up? Is this just continuing growth as maybe the hobby slows down a little bit? Brody, would this make you think about grading with them more than another company?
I mean, it definitely is a very aggressive move. They're definitely trying to solidify their number 2 spot and thinking about trying to get the number 1 spot. I would definitely consider it. That's a pretty good price. That's for sure. But I don't know. PSA is kind of that number 1 guy. I don't know. We'll see how the hobby responds.
Chris, $15. It's been years since we've seen anything down there that's not as special. What do you think?
I hope they hired enough graders to handle all that, because not only are they setting the price low, but they're promising 5 to 10 day turnaround.
Yeah.
I hope they still have enough graders on staff to handle that.
Well, and that's the thing. Let me put this back up here. Yeah, 5 to 10 day turnaround at $15 a card. I mean, I've got cards sitting around. I mean, literally right here, some commons that I've been waiting to get graded, and I don't really want to wait 4 months, and pay more money with PSA for something that's going to stay in my PC. $15 becomes very appealing to me. And here's a comment. Jeff's Card Journey says, game changer for me. All my cards are going to SGC now. Let's say hello to Rex. Good morning from New Buffalo and Valparaiso. You're on the big screens of the shop. Yes, sports card shop. Absolutely fantastic. And I've been there. It's a beautiful shop. So thanks for joining us, Rex. Is saving $10 per card worth giving up 20% premium on value with PSA slab? Well, doesn't that assume you're selling it? If you're keeping it for your PC, doesn't necessarily matter. Chris, your thoughts?
Is it really a 20% premium though?
That's a great question.
A PSA 10 versus an SGC 10?
I think it depends on the card.
Depends on the card.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brody, when you're shopping, do you have a preference one versus the other?
Not really. I think it's really the card. If I see 2 cards and they're in the same slab, whichever looks better, I might get them both. I kind of like to see them both.
Yeah. Good time to cross over to SGC from PSA that are undergraded. I thought so, and I crossed over. I did put a minimum grade, and I didn't meet it. and it was a card that had a PWCC letter I appeal. So I was shocked at that. So, and here's let me put this back on here. To your point earlier, Chris, John says, worry not that SGC has enough personnel. Yeah, I don't think they would do it if they were ready. $15 a card and dropping by the month as prices continue to fall. Now that's interesting. Brody, you want to take this? Do you think this is going to start a price war?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. That's a tough one to say. I don't know.
Chris, what do you think?
If I were Beckett, I would consider matching that price, but
Yeah, that's true.
do you have the personnel to handle a 5 to 10 day turnaround, though?
You mean if you're Beckett?
If you're Beckett, yeah.
Right, yeah.
If you're Beckett, I don't know what you have to be.
Because you've gone from number 2 to number 4 in a matter of what, 3 years? And you need to get back into the game a little bit.
And during a time where other companies had to shut down and turn away business.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to get a couple comments here. Philly Joe, I get cards graded with the main intent to sell. It just makes all the BS that can arise at a minimum. No, it certainly makes sense when I'm buying and selling. You know, the grading just gives you, I guess, a starting point, but I'll still take a good roll card. Well, let me go to foul ball 5 here. At $15, I'm still not grading my cards. Absolutely respect that. Chris, why don't you grade? No interest, no need?
No interest. They're all my cards are in they've all been in top loaders, and it's kind of a pain in the ass to store a set with one card graded and the other cards in it not. So that, and I just don't get the appeal of it. I can grade my own cards. I'm keeping them. I don't need them. I don't need them. I'm not selling my cards anytime soon. So,
by the way, if I come over your house and you can have little stickers on each one with a Chris grade, that would be fantastic.
Stale gum grading.
Yeah, right. Stale gum grading. You know, you're already in the top 5.
I'm coming for you, Beckett.
No. Right, Brody. Any reason you don't grade often? Just no interest, no need.
Well, I don't know. Kids still need enough money. You know, it's a lot of money to grade a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Now, but you don't mind buying graded.
No, I don't mind buying graded, but it's like when you go to submit graded, it's like I see one card that I want to grade, and then I see 15 cards to get graded. That's what happens every time. So,
no, it's true. Travis says the less people grade, these grading companies will get desperate. I don't believe PSA's grading numbers either. I expect layoffs coming. That's certainly an opinion. Hey, Brody, what's up, Brad? Where does 007 invest his money? Answer: in the bond market. There you go. There's your dad joke for the day. Brad, I gave you a shout out. Let me show a little thank you here to Texas Card Dude, who, if you're from the Baltimore area, getting a Topps Heritage Gunnar Henderson is certainly appreciated. And I've moved twice in the last month and a half, so it actually came on Thursday. That's how long it took to get here, Brad. Travis, that's what Card Porn said. I can grade my own cards. What'd you say? Did I lose you?
Did we lose everybody, or
Brody, you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm here.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay.
Wonder why Jonah Heim cards are still worthless. It's a good question. Now, again, I want to get back to the grading. Chris, sir, would the $15 change your mind or impact you at all?
No.
I'm curious if anybody in the comments, because to me, this would change what I'm sending.
I suppose if I did get my cards graded, I would consider it, but I guess I'm not the right hobby hotline panelist to ask this question.
But this, I think this shows part of the issue is not everybody's grading. We talk about the hobby like everybody's grading their cards, and they're not.
Not everybody, not everybody wants their cards graded.
Brody, what percentage of cards do you see at shows and stuff that you think are actually graded? Is it 20%, 40%? I'm guessing here.
Maybe about a quarter. If I take a rough guess, somewhere around there, maybe.
Yes, it is $15 for all cards and $9 for trading card games. The $15 matters only because they will return them quickly, and I think that's a key point. Bo says, I only sub pre-work cards to SGC for my Cubs PC. As the SGC pricing goes down, I will expand the selection of cards I submit. I think that's what they're hoping on. Chris, we have somebody making comments. His goes by that 70s card show and says maglocks are $349 at my LCS. Same thing, 0-day turnaround. So he's part of the
or for $349 you can get a pack of 25 top loaders.
Yeah, but he might be a potential Chris Grading Company client. So
could be.
Yeah.
But then I need to go out and buy those little stickers that cover the magnet.
Bobby Baseball, my issue with the SGC slabs, they're so darn easy to crack open. Interesting. They feel more like a mag case than a real slab to me. I've never had that issue. Has anybody ever had an issue with an SGC slab? I've never heard that. Bobby, just give us more information on that. Are you trying to crack them open? Or is this...
I would think that would be a feature if you're trying to crack them open.
Right. That's what I was wondering. Here you go. Foul 5 ball. I did pick up a raw 59 Gibson rookie. It's so hard to find not graded that I need it for my set. No, first of all, that's a beautiful card. And the pink and the SGC tux, I think would just be kind of stunning. That's the other thing. And Brody, you talked about this, the look of the card. If you're keeping it for your PC, does the look of the slab play into it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when you look at a PSA slab, it's more bland. When you go to SGC, you've got this tuxedo slab. It's got to be, you want the right color look, or else it might look kind of weird. But it's by your own appeal.
No, I completely agree. Dewey says, turned in 50 cards to SGC at the Anaheim show for $15. Then they lowered the everyday price to $15, and after a week, nothing. It should be $3. Well, they may keep coming down here. Jealous of the Gibson rookie? Sir, you're wrong. Philly Joe, I hardly grade any cards, only those I want to sell. I'm a top loader mag collector. I think a lot of people feel the same way you do, Chris, that for the personal collection. Yeah. Now, Chris, do you sell it all or no?
Every once in a while, I'll throw something like a double, some surplus cards that I may have accidentally put up. I'll throw something on eBay or something like that, but not really. I don't really sell as much as I probably should. So,
what's up, Zach and Porter? Brody, do you ever sell it all, or are you just buying for the PC or keeping for the PC?
No, I mean, I do a little bit on ComC, but I trade some, but that's about it.
The color is designed to be soothing. The 59 Gibson, C. Pepto Bismol, heartburn, diarrhea, upset stomach. I don't know the whole commercial. I'm having deja vu.
Deja vu
I'm
from
having
what?
deja vu. Zach and Porter. Hey, Brad. So, if you guys are not big graders, does this mean anything to you for the hobby? Do you think more people will start grading cards in general? Do you think this will
I think
introduce
you'll
more
see a lot more SGC slabs out in the wild,
Do you
especially
think
of newer cards. Um, for me, as a newer card collector, that means probably some fewer raw cards out there, and maybe some cards that I need that I would rather buy raw. I may just have to bite the bullet and pay an inflated price for a card that's SGC slabbed. So
this is an interesting perspective? Vintage Card Collector says SGC slabs suck. They should just copy the others and make them the same size and invest in plastic that is clearer. The lower price does nothing for me. Yeah, I mean, I wish all slabs were standard size. Let me just say that. I don't. Bobby Baseball says fully agree. Yeah, I don't fully disagree. Although this gets back to the comment, Brody, we were having about the card looking good. It's about that card, and I'm thinking about that 59 Gibson with that black around it on the SGC. Maybe that's a sharper look than just clear plastic.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts on kind of dressing up the card?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Best part of the Gibson rookie is he's smiling. Never saw him smile again. People say that all the time about that card. CSG has the clear slabs. That is correct.
yes,
Unless you're counting tag on the plastic clear meter. There's actually a name for that if anybody knows it. And
I think it's
the tag.
opacity.
What is it called?
Opacity, I think.
Okay, well, somebody fact check that. I'd love to
Yeah.
know. But yeah, CSG is far clearer. They made a point of that, or I guess CGC at this point. SGC dresses down 71. It's too many initials here. Well, that's the whole point. With the 71 black border, it does affect the look of it, and that would be a reason to go with PSA. Without it, certainly for me. Okay, here's my point about SGC being easy to crack is their flimsy slabs. Ever drop one? Bobby, I'm going to say I don't remember ever if I've dropped one or not. I've never had one crack on me. So I don't know if anybody else has had that, but
Can't say that I've ever.
they shouldn't. I mean, I don't know how you're dropping it from, but I also have carpet in my office, so this is a point that I think a lot of people are making. Grading to flip only works if people buy your cards. If people are buying less, then people will grade less. That's kind of what I was curious about selling cards. You know, if you were to sell, do you think it would be easier to sell raw or graded? What do you guys think, Brody? If you were selling, you think it'd be easier to sell raw or graded?
Probably raw, just because I think there's a lot of people that might not want to buy graded because, especially if there's people that don't buy graded, or don't grade, they might be able to, and it's going to be cheaper if you sell raw too. That's your one advantage, just your major advantage.
Something Wong says slab to sell later. That's an interesting concept. Texas card dude, I'm listening, coming right at you. Brad, hop on here. Um, this is a point a lot of people say. 80% of PSA cards don't fit their holders. They look ridiculous swimming around. Well, that gets back to the point of I forgot who put it up here. Yeah, PSA puts some cards in penny sleeves, not clear at all. I've seen that, and I've got cards. Have you guys seen where you can literally see the penny sleeve?
Especially on like mini-sized cards or non-standard, they do put them in a penny sleeve to keep them from shifting around in the slab. So yeah, I've seen that too. So
Vintage card collectors. I'm sorry.
And it just doesn't look good with the extra sleeve. So
real quick, Bobby's right. SGC just feels cheap when you hold them. Also makes a certain number bigger. You need magnification to read the darn thing. I need magnification for a lot of things, and one of them is seeing my friend Brad Berthune. What's up, dude? Texas Card Dude joining us.
What up, yo? What's up, Brody?
What's up, Brad?
Promise no dad jokes. What's up, Chris? Good to see you, Nasser.
Same here.
So on SGC, I actually do SGC, but I do SGC for PC, and only for like not true vintage, but I guess they would consider it modern. Like this one last year, I got this at the National last year. I specifically wanted to put it in a SGC slab. Traded Herman for this one. I knew I was going to put it in an SGC slab. This one from work. Got that one in a contest. And then you'll know this guy, Danny.
Hey, you know him as well.
Exactly. And I specifically buy these 80s
Nice. That's a cool
and
one.
early 90s cards, and I think they look better in SGC slabs than they do PSA. So I do it more for aesthetics than anything else, and I like the company. I mean, they do a lot of good things right. They do a lot of things right. They've treated me right. I mean, they've done everything. Yeah, the turnaround time sometimes can be, they'll say 5 days and it'll come 10 days. They'll say 7 days and it'll be 13, 14 days. For me, this is PC stuff. It's not going anywhere. So I completely don't care when it arrives. If I were to try to be selling or flipping or having stuff for a particular show, yeah, that'd be kind of irritating. But for my PC, I think I'm sorry, that's freaking gorgeous.
It is.
That's freaking. I mean, that's beautiful. I mean, we saw the comments. I just like this for older cards. Now, do I have older cards in a PSA slab? Yes, I've got Montana rookie in a PSA slab. I've got a Rice rookie in a PSA slab. Would I prefer them to be in an SGC slab? Wow, you're right, Danny. Too many acronyms. Would I prefer them to be in the bow tie? Sure, I'd prefer them to be in the bow tie. But I got them at a great price in a PSA slab, so it is what it is. If I wanted to find a raw one and put it in a bow tie, I would. But I just happened to get a great deal on a PSA card. So it's aesthetics, and I see people wanting to do one way for money, and then you got the other one for just because it gets turnaround time faster. Man, it's been a while since I've been on Hobby Hotline
Brad, I was just going to say, I want to keep you on. Can you stay with us? Because we have another guest that wants to jump on.
I'm
Dan
here.
Korean Cardboard.
I'm with you. I'm just here. Wife's asleep and cat's not bothering me. So go ahead.
All right, let's bring on Dan Korean Cardboard. Welcome to Hobby Hotline.
How are you guys?
Hey,
What's
These
going
are
on
for my
today?
glasses, so don't mind this. These are for my glasses. Just why it's the red spots here.
Don't
Danny,
mind this. It's from my parents.
Danny,
What
Chris,
up, again? What a
Brian, how are
surprise!
you guys?
I'm doing great.
I just regret not meeting you guys in Chicago for the national. There were so many people to meet, and I just never. There were so many people I wanted to meet, but I'm sorry I didn't meet any of you guys. Danny, I actually had a Ripken magnet for you that I brought with me, but I didn't see you. I was going to give it to you. I still have it. I could probably send it to you if you don't have it. But I was going to talk. You guys were talking about PSA and just third-party graders in general. I was introduced to PSA in around 2011 by a teammate of mine in a baseball league, and so I eventually graded around 800 manually, and I was like second on the registry, the Players Master Set registry, and I actually just sold that entire collection that I had when I was in Chicago, and I got a princely sum for it. I was very happy with it, but I moved to Korea in 2014, and I did not take any of the cards with me, and so it was more or less found money because I didn't really pay attention to my cards when they were sitting in my friend's basement the entire time I've been out here for 10 years, and I do collect certain cards. I do get graded, but not all of them. I actually have.
Dan, I love your taste.
Well, I have 5 different ones that are graded. I'm actually thinking about selling these so I can buy some stocks. But this is the white Vulgarity one.
Oh.
I have the white. I have like 4 others. I have the black box is the main one. The black scribble.
You got what? You have white scribble.
White scribble, and there was
Do you
one
collect
more.
do you collect the saw cuts?
Well, I think I have one. PSA won't grade those, and I also have that. I don't know if it's real, but they have the black and white test run. I don't know. I don't know if that's real, but I have that one as well. I'm probably gonna try. I might sell this lots and try and get as much as I can for it. But anyway, my point is, when I started grading PSA, my friend recommended it to me. I did not know there were other TPGs out there at the time. So this entire time, I've just been doing uniformity with PSA. I'm not a big fan of the Tux. I know some are. But I think some of these Japanese vintage cards I have, they're like tobacco-sized cards, might actually look good in a tux. So I had thought about grading some of these and put them in a tux. But I don't disagree that this is plain, but I do like this. I do like this label because it's simple. It's capital letters. And I don't know. It's just easy for me to read. I don't like having small, like lowercase fonts. I like the uppercase. I just like the way it's laid out. It does look boring, but I don't know. I guess I like it. I like the simplicity of this label.
Do you prefer when you buy? Does it affect what you buy, or is it the card first?
Definitely the card first. I don't think I buy slabs. I like slabbing my own stuff with PSA.
Okay.
And by the way, the upcharge is BS. I totally don't agree with that process.
Does the new SGC pricing change your mind at all, or no? No effect.
No. Oh, but I'm sorry, I didn't mention this. I collect a Korean baseball player. He played in Korea and Japan, and I've been using his master set registry with PSA. So everything I've been doing has been PSA, and I don't really want to change because I keep keeping everything. Even though there are things I don't like about PSA, I just like the uniformity, and I'm just going to keep going with it.
I want to put a comment here from Bobby Baseball that I think impacts a lot of people who collect. Have to admit that my love for PSA is certainly OCD driven to some extent for sure. That and the registry, I would say the consistency of the look and the registry are 2 of the biggest things that I hear from people. Dan, what time is it?
12:40 a.m. Sunday.
Hey, Dan, you remember the 61-0?
Yes.
Okay, so here's a quick story. At the Dallas Card Show, I bought a 61 Manko O for $15.
He's talking about Sadaharu.
Yeah, yeah. So bought it for $15, graded it, it turned into a 2. So I sold that at the last national, and that's where this came from.
Oh
So I'm
wow.
basically into this for $15. So
Wait, did you grade the O with the SGC or
with SGC, it was in a tux.
what year was that? 62 or
61.
something? 61. Okay. I'm sorry, you said 61. Okay.
Yeah. I so here's this one in PS. So I'm kind of agnostic. It's just more, and then there you go, Danny.
Oh well, that's the best card you've shown so far.
Actually, I'm trying to see if I can find Danny's magnet. Let me see if I can find it.
But yeah, it just
But Brad, you sell some also, correct?
yes.
Do you sell raw graded? Doesn't matter what you're selling at all.
I sell raw.
You do.
The graded that I sell are cards that I get for my PC, and then I'll give you a good example. I traded for a Elway rookie, put it in a tuxedo, thought it was a 7, came back a 5. I sold it at the last show that I wanted at the last show so that I could upgrade to and look for a 7. And the 7 I'll look for in an SGC slab just because I think that SGC slab with that rookie card looks better. I just happened to get a great deal on this Montana rookie, and the tops traded Cal Ripken Jr. I may be into it for half if I remember right. I just got them for bang bang deals, so you got to do it.
Victor says, "I respect the SGC company and look and enjoy the look of their slab. But I've been pro PSA for a decade, 1,000 PSA slabs plus. Hard for me to pivot. Yeah, that's what I was saying. A lot of people feel that way. Dan, I'm sorry. There.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
This is like it says it's 1989. I'm sorry.
Is that the phone? Is that the phone card?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. That's.
Yep.
It says classic on the back. I'm not sure if you need this. Do you need it?
Oh, I don't have that. That's
All right,
awesome.
I'll send it to you.
Oh, I'll trade you something.
It's it says 1,000, or is that $10? No, it says $1,000 on the front. If that matters at all.
Oh, sure. Just move the decimal point out and I'll pay you.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry. So the guy that I collect, I actually had his PSA set registry added right after I started collecting PSA here in Korea, and I've traveled to Japan and I bought some of his cards here in Korea as well. And just the what's the word I'm trying to find? Having gone to Japan and buying some of his cards here, just the time I've been in Korea, it means more to me than when I was collecting manually or something like that. Just my experience living out here in Asia while I've been collecting cards, this part of it.
Did PSA added the registry, the set to the register?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I've been building it for about 4 years.
Just catch up on a couple comments here. Loving PSA's $15 football special. I can send my football cards in and get them back at the end of the season. There's some truth to that. And then there's some truth to the fact that if Brad were to send in that Joe Montana, the price would not be $15.
That's true.
There is that issue also. Orlando, hello. My old slabs are PSA. Have 3 sets on PSA registry, but have been using SGC now. See, I wonder how many people are going to switch over. And I know SGC is pushing their wants to get their registry going.
Yeah, see, and I'm a big registry fan. I don't see the appeal. I don't see for me, it's not. I just don't get it. So I don't. It's another reason why I don't really care about having stuff in PSA. Is I don't get the registry. It's not something that so I don't worry about it.
Real quick question for Dan: does PSA now grade in Japan? If yes, your thoughts. Thanks.
I think, well, yeah, they've had the location there for a few years, but I'm not, I think they do, but I'm not positive. I send my cards to a friend in the US and he ships, and because he's a member, so I just get my prices through him. But I'm not positive if they do. I think they started to. I think they were just receiving cards from Japanese people in Japan, and then or foreign anybody for that matter, and then would ship to Santa Ana or Santa Clara, wherever they're at. But I don't know if they are grading now. I can't speak to that really.
All right. Dan, did you have another card? Yeah.
Yeah, you guys know that guy?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's all right.
Yeah. No,
He's
yeah.
Yeah, without a
average
doubt.
Joe.
Dan,
Yes.
thank you for jumping on.
No problem, guys. Thanks for having me.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you following from abroad.
All right, take care, guys.
Be well.
Dan.
How cool is that?
All the way from Korea. Wow.
I mean, in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
My family won't get up in the middle of the day to hang out with me.
There's no jokes in there. I'm just going to leave it alone.
I was surprised you did, to be honest. I looked right at you. I want to get back to the conversation real quick about the authentication companies, just because, Brad, you were talking about getting it graded. Do you put it on the grading companies to catch the mistakes, or is a certain amount going to get through no matter what?
A certain amount's going to get through no matter what. I mean, if you want to talk tech for a second, I think AI is going to, within the next 3 to 5 years, revolutionize the grading industry, if that's what you want to call it. I think it's going to be to the point where it's going to be really, really tough to slip anything through until somebody figures out how to create AI-based fake cards, and then you've got AI against AI. But I honestly think that the technology acceleration that we're into in the next year to 2 years, for those who innovate AI it's going to completely revolutionize, and we'll get more accurate grading and less subjective grading, which is what I think a lot of people want when they grade.
Chris, do you think AI grading will affect the market differently than the original grading?
Are people going to trust AI grading as opposed to
It's a great question.
human eyeballs? That's the thing, though. And the thing is, with computers, it's always garbage in, garbage out.
True. But
if AI doesn't teach itself
Mhm.
how to grade a card properly, or can't, and I'm not saying that can't happen, is this just a pipe dream? Is automated the thing that I first heard about bringing AI into grading? What was it, like
The same time they talked about Robo. It's been with Robo once. They've been talking about it, and it's not quite ready.
Is it ever going to be ready?
I think so.
Is it ever going to be reliable?
And
reliable. I can't speak to that. I just know that in the technology world and all of the indicators that I'm hearing within 2024, 2025, AI is just going to take a leap. It's going to be used in a lot more areas in the workplace, in industry, and I wouldn't doubt it if you turn around and see who has the biggest wallet in grading. If they're not already looking at it, they will be shortly, because it's a way to cut costs massively. And if you don't have to hire graders and teach graders on a mass quantity, and you can do grading cheaper, faster, and with more accuracy, why wouldn't you? And I get your point, Chris, 100% of garbage in, garbage out. That is 100% true. but is PSA or SGC or HGA? Well, never mind. Forget that one.
Yeah.
Are any of them willing to risk their neck out for for that, unless they're 99.9% right or ready to go? I'd be shocked if it wasn't ready to go. I mean, like ready to go, QA'd multiple times, run it through as fast as you can, and then see what you get, and then let it go. Yeah, Philly Joe, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I watch markets all day long. I'm in the technology business.
Yep.
Everybody that I talk to, everybody that I hear from, it's going to happen.
And AI was involved. They were doing AI on cards, and we haven't really heard anything since from it. I can't seem to recall the name of the company that they purchased, but
Yeah,
maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't.
AI takes time to learn. They can't do vintage yet. Thousands of cards need to be processed for AI learning. From Orlando, yeah, I think it's one of the reasons people say AI is going to continue to get better is because it is a self-growing technology that it does build upon itself to a certain degree.
Now, all your arguments, Chris, were 100% valid. Everything that you say is 100% valid today. I'm looking at 2024, 2026, 2028, 2030. I mean, honestly, think about it. We're only 7 years from 2030. Even 2025, a year is quantum leap in technology. So if you give it like six months, a year and a half, we could be looking at a whole new ball game. And Chris, I 100% agree on every one of your counter arguments. I just hear from my indicators what I'm saying. That's all.
Well, I'm curious from Brody's perspective, do you have more confidence in AI and computer grading than maybe some of the older guys?
Easy.
I included myself.
Okay.
I think it's a tough one. I think it's kind of. I agree with Bo's comments a little bit in the chat. I think it's like something we might start to see, and I think it's kind of like the electrical cars aspect. Like you'll start to see them, and then you'll just kind of start to see them appear more and more and more, and then you might start to see them kind of just take over, or they might die out. It's going to go one or the other.
Yeah. I mean, who says that that they're not out there already? I mean, how do we know if it's not already in beta or in alpha, even in alpha? How would we know somebody slipped it through?
Well, I mean, PSA's already announced and this was when collectors bought them, they had a technology initiative put in place. Mm-hmm. So we know for a fact they've already announced not just AI, but other technology initiatives. And to Brad's point, how can the AI not be at some level part of that conversation or even alpha stage? Because it's been 2-3 years since collectors have bought them.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it if there's massive testing going on. First to market type thing is so important in our hobby that I can only imagine. That's why I think HGA rushed to the marketplace before they were ready, because they wanted to be the first. Well, look what happened. Mistakes. Mm-hmm. They weren't 100% ready, and look where they're at now. I think lesson learned by the larger companies that, hey, if you don't hit that mark, you could end up being a afterthought.
Yeah, and I guess Chris or Brody, whoever wants to take this, is there a disadvantage in some of the companies that popped up during the pandemic that everybody kind of flocked to what they knew, as opposed to when maybe it would have been a little slower and they could have slow rolled out?
Go ahead, Brody. You can take us.
Or Brad?
Or Brad.
Do you think HGA would have been more successful in a slower market when they could have spent more time educating the public and slow rolling?
Yeah.
I think that's a
Probably.
CEO. Yeah, it's a CEO decision that only he could answer. And I know that's a cop-out answer, but maybe. I mean, if it wasn't ready, it didn't matter if they fast rolled it, slow rolled it uphill, rolled it with a square. I mean, it wasn't ready. If it was ready, it didn't matter if they slow rolled it out or fast rolled it out. They thought they could fix the mistakes along the way, and the mistakes became what HGA is now known for. So it was a big good. I applaud them for. Hey, you got to applaud them for sticking their neck out there. I mean, yeah, that's bold. It's absolutely bold. And had it hit, it would have been like a grand slam. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So, who knows?
HGA to me always seemed a little too gimmicky because of the colored labels. Just me.
No, I can see that. I can understand that. But maybe Brody, what do you think of those colored slabs?
Well, they're the only one that could grade my Brody the Kid card. So I've got an HGA 9.0 Brody the Kid card signed straight up. Yeah.
Hey, where's mine? That's what I want to know.
Wow. Brody waits till there's 2 minutes left to mic drop.
So what about
seriously, Brody? What do you like of the look of the HGA slabs? Did you like it more or less, or did it not bother you with the colored labels?
I mean, it was a good idea. I think but like Brad said, it just wasn't ready, I think. But it was a good idea.
I love Philly Joe says, I love the HGA slabs labels. Oh,
It's your personal preference. I think it's a similar thing we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, Brad.
Hey, yes.
This was awesome, man.
Hey, it was awesome to jump on. I just don't get time to watch live anymore. So I was on live and I saw Brody, and I knew I had to do a dad joke, and I hadn't talked to Chris since the National, and man, you and I need to catch up. So I just thought I'd jump on and say howdy to everybody.
Well, I appreciate it, dude. And Chris and Brody, have a good hobby week. Anything planned hobby wise?
Football, that's for sure.
Football, yeah. It's opening day.
Chris, you went to your LCS. You went to the LCS yesterday.
I went to Bel Air yesterday and picked up some stuff, so I think I've hobbied out.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate everybody watching episode 264. And Chris, you want to take us out? Chris, you want to take us out?
Are we online?
We are. Comps, man.
Oh. Comps!
All right, take us out, Chris.
All right. Keep rocking in the free world, man.
See you guys.
Later.